Dry wash season in full effect. What's going on, guys? I'm back today. Gonna be working a pile over here that I noticed. It got formed by this tree that fell over and the root system is sticking up. What it's done is it's made this huge long tailings pile, this low pressure zone. Of course, you got to look at this like when the water is at flood level and it's really blowing through here, and how it made this formation over here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is a wash up here. It doesn't really kind of look like it right now. And then we come on down, you see this big pile here, and then it just kind of hits these trees and meanders through and then drops off over there. But this spot here is pretty tight. Then it hits here, it starts to open up pretty good where the water's moving fast. The gold's going to roll on down. It's going to hit this spot where it widens out and the gold's going to drop here. So we're going to give it a shot on this big pile right here. You can see this tree that was here at one time and it fell over, and then it's kind of strange that behind this tree is this big pile here that was laid in. So this is the kind of stuff you're looking for when you're out at claims or you're out and about looking for things. You're looking for formations that are kind of out of ordinary. This doesn't belong here. What is this doing here? Well, water brought it in. So I'm going to set up my dry washer over here, most likely just shovel the material in. I suspect this stuff's going to be a little bit moist. We've had a pretty rainy summer here, but we'll rerun it if we have to. Got here in the afternoon. Me and the perra, we plan to stay the night tonight over here. So we'll be camping out and then maybe hitting a different spot tomorrow before the weekend's up. So, but let me get the dry washer out and we'll get to work. We're gonna get this baby all primed up, get some material in the riffle before we get down to serious business here. Always want to get this thing fired up, look to see the way the dirt's flowing, if it's coming down and shooting out the back evenly. That'll tell you if it's level or not. Over here on the dry washer, we got Indiana Creek, Big Texas, Scobian Goes Outdoors. That one's kind of hard to see. GS, Culver, Garage Prospecting, Golden Skull, A3 Sky Warrior, Banshee, RPE, Occasional Outlaw, 406, Lieutenant Illman, PA sticker. He sent me a new one. I'm going to be putting that new sticker of PAs on here real soon. Time to get to work, guys. I'll throw the camera over here on the tripod, show you a little bit of that. Here at a minute or two though, after I run about 4 or 5 buckets, we're gonna break out the pan. We're gonna do a sample and see if we're finding anything here.
So I'll tell you what, on this little deal here, I should have just turned around, went back home, went back to sleep. It was almost like I woke up on the wrong side of the bed on this deal here. I got out there, started setting up the dry washer. It started to act up on me. It was almost like it was maybe a battery problem. Things weren't really working right. But as you sit there and look at that dry washer pumping along right there, do you see a whole bunch? And of course, I don't have a lot of dirt in there right now, but do you see a lot of dust flying out? There's not a whole bunch of dust. Usually that thing will be a little bit more dustier. And that's an indicator of one of the problems that I ran into today. Here in a couple minutes or so, I will show you what the main culprit of all my problems were today.
There's our first bucket of concentrates. We're gonna do a little sample pan here. see what's going on. I really don't have a lot of faith in this material just yet. But we will see if we got anything here. The dry washer's really acting up. It was working fine at the house, and then I bring it out here and it's giving me a hard time, so I might have to work on that thing. We will see, guys. I'll be back here in just a sec. We're on the gold. There it is, guys. There's a little tiny piece there. My water is filthy, so but that's how it is out here in the field. You don't get perfectly clean water. And let's roll it back one more time. Yep, there's 2 or 3 in there actually, so that's not a bad little test run. Let me get over here, get all that bullshit out of there. Okay guys, I'm gonna get back to work. I'll be back here in a bit. So I found the culprit, and what the problem is here, these riffles and this cloth is kind of black in there, and then they start turning real light tan. All of these riffles right here, they must have got clogged up because they are just completely clogged up. And these are gonna have to be cleaned, so no airflow can get through there. I don't like going at it with my knife, but what I'm gonna have to do is go get some water, wash these, pour water through the backside, get them all cleaned up, let it dry out, and then we'll be back on the road again.
So while that filter fabric's over there drying, does anybody have any guesses? Any guesses why the filter fabric got all clogged? Yep, you guessed it. Old Goldpan took a chance, and he rolled a couple snake eyes. He lost out on this deal. Usually on my dry washer there, I have that plastic bin that I always drop the dirt into, but I'll take that, run the dirt either like 2 or 3 times through there, throw it in a bucket, and then I can run it through the dry washer, fill up that bin, fill up a bucket, then run that bucket back through to dry up the material. You know, sometimes I bring a tarp out with me, throw the dirt out there on a tarp. It seems to dry up fairly quickly. I don't know if it would have dried up very good at this day. It was pretty darn cloudy, but that's the chance I took, and it created all kinds of havoc on this little deal.
Alrighty, all washed up. I can see all the way through there now. And we'll just let this sucker, I guess, sit over here out in the sun for a little while. It shouldn't take very long. It's like freaking 110 degrees out here. So should dry up pretty quick. I'm gonna go take a break, go eat some trail mix and drink some water, and I'll be back after a bit. Something just dawned on me too. I wanted to stay the night over here. I drove off and forgot my damn tent that hooks on the back of the truck. Yeah, that is not a good thing. I'm kind of in a hurry to get out of the house today and get all out here and get everything, so I don't know. Between the dry washer acting up, leaving the tent at home, it's just one of those days. But the clouds out here, they are starting to build up, so I don't have much time left. Let me get on it, guys. I'll be back here in a few. The clouds are getting darker. The gnats are getting thicker than thieves. They are all over me, just chewing on me everywhere. They're not as bad as they can get. They're not the worst I've ever seen. Just they want to get right around your face. You know how that is. So that's the spot I was working on. This big pile here, I will be coming back. I will probably end up moving all of it at some point or another. And there's my spoil pile over here of the buckets. So I'm gonna get everything packed up, guys, and then we'll see you back at the house when we go through these concentrates. It's been one of those weeks, but I'm back at the house. This is the very next weekend. We're gonna get those concentrates panned out, see what we find in there. My test pans, I saw a few little flakes in there. So we'll put my panning skills to the test here in a little bit better conditions than it is out there in the field. And enjoy the jams, guys. We'll get this party started and see what we can find in here. Look at that big old piece, holy moly. And there's a bunch of little ones in here too. I think I missed some over here because those are not the pieces I saw in the claim. Let me finish this up. I just remembered something. I forgot the test pans were in the truck. So let me get the test pan material panned out. I don't know if I'll show it or not here. This video's probably kind of getting a little long. I'll show you what I find over here on this one towards the end. Well, out of the test stuff, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in there. That's a pretty good haul. Don't think any of this is gonna weigh out, but we will go throw it on the scale and see what we got here. Look at that big old piece. Now it's time to see if we're gonna find anything out of that. Any bets? Any bets that it's gonna not even move the scale? Zip, zero, nada, but all gold matters, guys. There it is right in there. There's 6 pieces in there. That's not too terrible for 8 buckets, and I had to kind of snag just the dirt off the top because it's kind of moist here. But I'll take that all day long. You know my motto, I'll be back not for 8 buckets, but I'll be back for at least 80. I'll work that whole pile here in the future once it gets a little bit dried up a little more. There's probably 2 or 3 yards in there, so I ought to walk away like a fat rat one of these days from there. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Smash out that subscribe button, and Goldpan Suntan is out.